So you did it. You poured your heart and soul into building an app. You polished every last pixel, and you finally hit that big, beautiful launch button. It's an amazing feeling, right? But almost immediately, right after that little celebration, this huge question starts to creep in.
Yeah, that's the one. Now what? How are people actually using it? Where did they even come from? And maybe the most important question of all, are they sticking around? These are the kinds of questions that can keep you up at night.
Because let's be real, without analytics, you're essentially flying blind. You've built this incredible machine, but you're in the cockpit with no instruments, just hoping you're going in the right direction. And in the app world, where things move so fast, flying blind is, well, it's a recipe for disaster.
But this is where it gets really cool. Think of mobile app analytics as the instruments in your cockpit. They're what turn on all the lights, giving you that crystal clear visibility you need to navigate, to make smart decisions, and to really fly this thing. So what do these cockpit lights actually show you? Well, it's so much more than just a bunch of numbers. It's about seeing the story of your users. You can finally figure out which marketing channels are bringing you quality users, not just empty downloads. You get to follow their journey, step by step, and see exactly where they get stuck or frustrated. This means you can squash bugs faster, create personalized experiences they'll actually love, and find those golden opportunities to make your app even better. And the impact here is just staggering. Studies show that apps that actively use analytics get 25% boost in user retention. I mean, think about that. That's not a small number. That is often the difference between an app that takes off and one that just fizzles out. Okay, so you're probably convinced by now you need analytics. But if you do a quick search, you're going to see dozens and dozens of tools. And honestly, it can feel a little overwhelming. But here's the secret. The goal isn't to use every tool under the sun. It's about picking the right instruments for your specific job. To make sense of all this, we're going to break the whole landscape down into a few key categories. This way, you can figure out which type of tool really matches what you're trying to achieve right now. First up, you've got your all-in-one platforms. Think of these as your main dashboard, your mission control. They give you that big picture, unified view of your app's overall health, from user behavior all the way to technical performance. A classic example here is Google's Firebase. It's an absolute powerhouse. It rolls together detailed analytics, crash reporting, A/B testing, and a ton more into one seamless platform. It's pretty much the perfect command center for dev teams who want everything in one spot. All right, next, let's talk about the marketing pros. For them, we have marketing and attribution tools. These are your secret weapons for figuring out which of your marketing dollars are actually working. A real leader in this space is a tool like AppsFlyer. It goes way beyond just counting installs. It tells you which ad, which social media post, or which influencer actually brought you a user who sticks around and becomes valuable. For any team that's focused on growth, that kind of insight is pure gold. Now, sometimes the numbers tell you what's happening, but they don't tell you why. And that's where our next category comes in, user experience insights. These are the tools for the UX detective, the person who needs to get inside the user's head. I mean, think about this super common problem. Your data shows a massive drop-off on your sign-up page, but you have no clue why. Is a button broken? Is the form just too long and annoying? Without more info, you're just guessing. Well, tools like UXCam give you the answer. They let you watch recordings of actual user sessions. It's incredible. You can see exactly where people are tapping, where their finger hovers, and yes, even where they rage quit. It is literally like looking over your user's shoulder. And this is where the real breakthrough happens. You stop looking at spreadsheets and graphs, and you start seeing your app through a real person's eyes. You can feel their confusion. You can feel their frustration. And that is the most direct path to making your product so much better. Okay, our next category is one that gets overlooked all the time, but it's absolutely critical: fraud prevention. These are the guardian tools. They protect your marketing budget and, just as important, they protect the integrity of your data. It's a harsh reality, but a huge chunk of ad money gets wasted on fake clicks and bot installs. This doesn't just burn your cash, it completely messes up your data, which leads you to make bad decisions. You might think a campaign is a huge success and pour more money into it, when really you're just paying for more bots. Tools like Intercepted are your frontline defense, filtering out all that junk so you know your data is clean. All right, we have covered a lot of ground. So how do you actually get started with all this?
Let's boil it all down into a super simple 3-step blueprint for building out your data strategy.
The key here is not to overcomplicate it. First, just define your number one goal right now. Is it all about growth, improving engagement, or maybe just making the app more stable? Second, figure out which team, marketing, UX, dev, needs that data the most. And finally, just pick one primary tool that fits that goal and that team. You can always add more later, but starting with a clear focus is everything.
And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. Every single app has a story. So is your app story being told by clear, actionable data that's guiding you forward? Or is it being written by guesswork, leaving you to fly in the dark? The choice is yours.